Hello, everybody, and welcome to Detroit, Michigan, my hometown, and that of Mell Owens as well. You talk about two Detroiters for the 2024 NFL Draft, and yes, the Motor City Mad Mile Show does take me to my hometown, and glad to be joined by a native Detroit guy, Mell Owens. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you. Glad to be home.
Me too. I'm not so happy about that 43-degree temperature I had to deal with yesterday because it took me a little while to acclimate living in South Florida.
43? It was 29 this morning. I just came in from California, Southern California. It's like 75 degrees. I get here, it's 29. It's sort of cold, man.
Takes a little bit of a toll on you, doesn't it?
I haven't been here, well, I've been gone for 40 years, but I come back periodically, right? But every once in a while I come back.
All right, well, you know what? It's been a good year for people in Metro Detroit. First of all, the Detroit Lions had a pretty good year. Wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, but I'm not a Lion fan though. I play for the Rams, so I'm a Ram fan. You know, but I was cheering for the Lions, but there's a couple questionable calls that Campbell made. We almost had him in the Super Bowl. Almost.
Well, when you're drafted by the Rams and you're on their payroll for a while, then I can certainly appreciate why. But let me ask you, being a Rams guy, how did it feel to see the Lions and the Rams play Goff versus Stafford? I mean, that was certainly a matchup definitely made for TV, wasn't it, to see those two guys trading for each other?
Well, there's a reason why we got rid of Goff.
Okay.
Right? But it worked out for both teams. Right? We got a Super Bowl, and then you got a good young quarterback, and he's doing very well for the Lions. And I think they're going to do well again next year. They're a great coach, though, so I wouldn't worry too much about those guys.
Well, if anybody, Mel, would be familiar with Brad Holmes, it would be you because he was with the Rams for a while. What do you know about Brad Holmes?
I don't know anything about the guy. Seriously.
Okay.
Who is he? I don't know Brad Holmes.
You don't? Okay.
No, I don't.
Oh, that's okay. Doesn't matter. But what do you know about the Michigan Wolverines?
Oh, I know enough about him. I played for him.
Yeah, right.
I'm a big fan. National champions.
Yeah. How does it feel to be?
Good. It feels good to be a Wolverine. Always has, though. Because we're always good.
Jim Harbaugh, despite all the different suspensions that he had, he still found a way to get the Wolverines where he ended up going. And
yeah, but you know what's shocking though?
What's that?
Is they were asking me what about the new coach, right? Sharon Moore. I go, he was the coach for like 8 or 9 games when Harbaugh was gone for 6. So we're good. We're good. Good luck to Harbaugh in LA. We're good.
So Mel, tell me, you obviously had the Chargers and the Rams playing at Wi-Fi Stadium.
Yeah.
Or wait, actually SoFi
SoFi.
Stadium. I got all these Wi-Fi SoFis with the difference.
Yeah, that's okay. We're good.
So how does it feel to have two NFL teams in one area?
The Chargers are pretenders.
Okay.
Because they should have stayed in San Diego because everybody identifies with them. Now, back in the AFL days, they were the LA Chargers. But they had a good homegrown fan base in San Diego that really loved them. But San Diego, I don't think they really embraced the new stadium and the cost. So, with the SoFi stadium, they get to share. Right, so that means you have 2 teams there. I think most of the people in Los Angeles are for the Rams.
Yeah, but now the other question comes: do you think if they were going to bring a team in there, don't you think the Raiders would have been a better option than the Chargers?
But they're already there. They're like nomads.
Nomads, okay.
Yeah, the Raiders. The Raiders are good in Vegas.
Okay.
Right, they're built for Vegas.
Right.
And they're there, and they're going to bring the Oakland A's there, Oakland Raiders there. It's made for those guys.
So talk about Sean McVay as a coach. This guy here to me has done a remarkable job out in Los Angeles. He always finds a way.
He's slick.
Slick. That's how you describe
Young
him.
guy, smart. But when you trade away a bunch of picks for one Super Bowl, this is what you get later on. You get middle of the road, and he does a great job coaching, but you don't have all the players that you need because you traded away all the draft picks to get Stafford and some other people, and they go, and all of a sudden you got your mediocre team. But the Rams are a glamour team. It's in LA. They're going to be fine.
All right, Detroit getting the 2024 draft. You being a Detroit native, okay? How happy were you to see Detroit?
Very, very happy.
Were you?
Very happy. I grew up here, and then I played at Michigan, so I had we would come back to Detroit, and visit, and it was really bad for a while. Right? And now it's back, and it's like a secret gem. I don't want to say too much about it because everybody will come here. It looks like when San Francisco was in its heyday. I went to law school in San Francisco.
Oh, did you?
And San Francisco was beautiful, back in the 90s, in the early 2000s. This is the feel that Detroit has now. Like that vibe, right? Good food, good people, Renaissance. Detroit's good.
What are your thoughts about what they've done in the downtown area?
Love it. It's some of the best food, and the people have always been great. Detroit people are great. So, it came back. It's not their fault that the politicians ruined it in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. It's not their fault, right? And now, people have come back in, put the capital back in, and, if you haven't come, to Detroit recently, come down, check it out, spend some money here, some great food and great entertainment. It really is. And great teams now. The Lions, for sure.
So, give me your thoughts about Dan Campbell.
I love him. I do. He was part of that misery where they lost like 30 games in a row back when he was playing. He was a tight end from A&M. They played on those miserable teams, and that sort of leaves a stain on you, right? And now he has a chance to rectify it and turn it around, and he has. And I think that the players really play for him. You can tell that, right? Because for a long time, you couldn't get those guys to play here in Detroit for anyone. And for Campbell to come in and do what he did and win those games, you can tell these guys are playing for him.
To lose 16 games in a row.
They lost more than 16 in a row.
Well, I'm talking about the winless season.
Yeah, there's another one I think they lost a whole bunch too. Might have been 2 seasons.
Well, they were setting records for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Road records
Yeah.
of 16 and they added on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough to do, but yet they found a way to do it.
Well, you're right to shift, and you got the right guy, and I think Campbell was offered more money to go somewhere else. I think he might have been offered money to go to college.
Yeah, Texas A&M.
Yeah, where his alma mater, right?
Right.
And he goes, no, I'm going to stay in the NFL, and good for him. And I think the players really believe in him, which is a testimony to his coaching style. And you can see as a result, they win games. And to turn that around is tough business. If he did.
What are your thoughts about Jared Goff?
Young, talented quarterback. Maybe not so young anymore, but I like him. He's talented. I don't think he's elite, but he's very good. I mean, it's not a slight by saying he's not elite. He's not like the top guys like Jalen Hurts, but he's very good. You're in the NFL, you're a good player.
You talked about the impressive nature of what they've done with downtown. Can you imagine this? You have all 4 of your major teams within 0.6 of a mile from each other.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive. And you need that downtown for the vibe, right? It brings people down for not only for the teams but the entertainment, the other businesses, and we're on the river too, which is extraordinary.
Right.
And you got to be able to leverage, your location. And Detroit is now bringing it all back. My friend moved from Royal Oak to downtown Detroit in one of these old homes and fixed it up. It's just magnificent. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I'm seeing this for the first time. I don't come to downtown. I'm actually from the suburbs area, and now I'm seeing this. It's just unbelievable. You don't really recognize Detroit.
And there's cranes, so they're building still, right? And they're building everywhere. And it just, if you walk out maybe like a half mile to into the other areas, we're outside of the downtown where they have the homes. It's magnificent, it really is. And good food too, good local heroes.
When the Wolverines finally won that undisputed national championship, how did you feel as an alumnus?
I was there with my friend Steve Foster.
Oh, were you really?
Oh yeah, we were down in Houston doing it good, huh? There he is right there, man. It's my boy. We were down there doing it good. He's from Texas, and he invited me down, and we were there. We had a great time, and Michigan had a good run, good team, and got the job done.
Do you think that Jim Harbaugh got out at the right time, knowing that there were more sanctions headed his way?
Yes. It looks like he's got a stink trail wherever he goes.
Okay.
Right? I love the guy. I know the guy. But he wants to go in the NFL? Go. Thank you. You're a Michigan man. We love you. Move on. We're good.
So what are your thoughts about the hire of Sharon Moore?
I loved it. I think, I like about him is he's a former offensive lineman. And he knows what it feels like to be in the trenches. All the players love him. So that's a good thing. I think he's going to be great. He was already coaching when Harbaugh wasn't there. So we know what kind of style he has, but now it's his gig, and so now we'll see.
What do you think was a deciding factor with the Wolverines that made them, hey, this is the right guy, we have to go no further?
I think the way that the players reacted to him while he was acting as head coach, and you can see that the players were playing for him, and they weren't playing not scared to play the game, but like, oh, my coach is not here, what are we going to do? He held the fort down more than adequate. So the players played for him. You can see that, and I think that was a natural hire from within.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He has Wink Martindale, an experienced defensive coordinator, and he knows that he's walking into a situation where there will be more sanctions on there, and they have. So this is probably a challenging year, but he has a little bit of a honeymoon period, knowing that he beat Ohio State technically.
But when I was here, we always beat them. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
We made a big deal, like we won like 10 in a row. We used to kill these guys all the time. We got Cooper fired.
Yeah, I remember that.
We lost 13 out of 15. He won 93% of the games, but lost 13 out of 15 or something like that. He was fired. You got to win those games. We won them 3 in a row. We forgot about the 9 they won, but it goes back and forth. But what was the question? What was the question?
Well, obviously, how do you think he's going to do after? I like what you said about him.
I think he's going to do great. You have to have a great staff around you.
Right.
I don't think Harbaugh's running around coaching. He's more of a manager, right? So you need to hire good guys around you to coach your guys up, and then you got to get them better. Is we always finish between like 10 and 15 in the recruiting, rankings, but we always do very, very well. So you get the guys in, coach them up, win games.
Could you venture a general prediction of how you think the Wolverines will do year one after?
So they played 13 games.
With the Pac.
I'm gonna say 11-2.
What do you think they're that good? Why? I don't know.
I mean, you're like, yeah.
Okay,
Why
that's
not?
good. No, I understand.
I mean, we're the winningest team in college football history, right? And we get to play the number 2 team, which is Texas.
Right.
We're put some more space in between us.
Okay.
Right? And then we play SC. I think we play Washington, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan State. Tough schedule. But if you're good, you're gonna win. Right? I think 11-2 if they play 13.
So what are your thoughts about the direction that the Pac-12 is going here, down to 2 teams? Is that bad for college football?
It's terrible. Okay. So now we get into the meat of things.
Okay.
So the NCAA was they're the administrative watchdog, whatever. What were they doing when Kevin Warren was looting the Pac-12? They weren't doing anything. They let the Big Ten, and if the Big Ten can do it, they're going to do it. You go in there and just take teams, they're going to say it's more complicated than that. I get it, but for the average fan, they went in there, destroyed the Pac-12, took the premier teams, brought them to the Big Ten, which really makes no sense at all, and then left them to rot. If that's the way you want it, that's the way it is. It's TV, whatever. But I think it's wrong to go there and destroy that whole conference just for media. That's my opinion.
No, and I respect your opinion, not only having played in the NFL as long as you did, but as obviously a member, as you pointed out, playing for the number 1 all-time winningest school in college football. It doesn't really get any higher than that. How do you think Harbaugh's going to do in his first year with the Chargers?
This is what I heard, that the Chargers culture the last few years was not good.
Okay.
So that's why I think, this is just me, my opinion, that he got rid of some pieces. They're like Keenan Allen was like the number 1 receiver in the last couple of years, in top 5. You don't get rid of that guy, but you have the quarterback, Herbert. Why would you get rid of the number 1 receiver? You have the number 1 quarterback, basically. Bad culture, get rid of some of the guys, piece that out, get your own guys in, and then start anew. NFL's tough. He wants to be in the NFL because I think he has sour taste because his brother beat him in the Super Bowl. It's hard to get to the Super Bowl. It is. You may never get there, right? I think he's going to do okay. But it was 18 games, 9-9.
We talk about tonight, obviously, being the NFL draft, J.J. McCarthy, and a lot of Wolverines are out there. How do you see Michigan players going in the 2024 draft? I know J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, now, I don't have a list of J.J. McCarthy, and I know there's a whole bunch of dudes that are they're like Quorum and the top guys, right?
Right.
I think JJ, if it was me, I would have stayed another year. I personally would. You get NIL money, he's famous, but you want to leave on that national championship note, right? And he's going to be hopefully a first round draft pick, right? So I think he's going to go mid to late.
Mid to late first round?
Yeah.
You think he'll drop that? And what about?
You think he's going to go higher than that?
I'm not sure a lot. You know what? The one thing I don't like about the draft is they're all over the map. So
Or it could be a run, right?
Right.
You pick a quarterback. Oh, I got to get my quarterbacks. It could be a run. If there's a run, I think he goes earlier. If there's no run, if there's receivers, then I think he drops down.
what about some of the other Michigan players?
Name them. I'll tell you.
Well, Corum, Sandistro.
I like Quorum. I think he's going to project out too small, but he's going to be a great NFL back. Sandistro is a great defender. He's going to make a good impression in the NFL. He'll probably go. He might squeeze into the first. They like defense, right? And he proved himself. Or early second. Anybody else?
Oh, those are the three that stand out to me. I know full well.
Some linemen too.
Yeah.
Oh, Zinter, right? Zach Zinter.
Zach, right? Okay.
I think with the broken leg, might put him down a little bit, but he's a steal. With an injury, I'd pick him first round, even with the injury. Because without the injury, he's first rounder, right?
Right.
But I heal the leg, he's first rounder. I think he's gonna heal the leg, come back fine. Injury, offensive guards or tackles.
Well, we all know that pro days out there certainly can make a difference, even if you aren't in the combine because of injury reasons. That's a good way to increase your stock, as well as the personal interviews that you get from the team.
Yeah.
How valuable do you think pro days are to the evaluation process?
If you're not scared, you're great. If you haven't put the work in, you're scared, you're terrible. Right?
Okay.
I went to the combine. Back then they had 3 combines: New York, Indy, and Tampa. And we showed up and did the whole thing. Right? I did very well because I trained for it.
Right.
And I was first round draft pick because I think my combine tested it. And you can't be frightened to go out and show what you can. Like, I'm not going to run. I'm not going to do the interview. It's like, dude, just show me. If you're good, you're good.
So tell me the highlight of your NFL career.
When I retired.
Well, I mean, while you were playing the game.
Oh, well, fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I got drafted. 2
Okay.
bookends. Everything in the middle is work. Right? But I played with a lot of great players. I had a great time. I went through 2 strikes. So we built the NFL to where it is now. It was just before the TV contracts got big in the early 90s because we went on strike in 82 and 87. We dismantled the union, so it was no union anymore. We won the G. White lawsuit, which catapulted the NFL into what it is today.
Okay.
So, there you have it.
Mel Owens post-retirement. How have you enjoyed life after playing the game?
I'm an attorney now. So, I look at things a little differently than most folks do, right? I represent injured players
Yeah.
with their workers' compensation and their disabilities. So I'm still connected to the game. And I follow the college game and the NILs and all the lawsuits for the NCAA. So that's me in the post-football era. But I'm still connected.
How has that come along for you?
Good. I've been doing it for 24 years.
So then you've proven that you can take a really good football career and do every bit as good after the game.
Yeah.
Which a lot of guys, you don't get the opportunity. They all go broke. But obviously, life has been good for you after
You
football.
got to work hard and everything. Like, you got to work with intent. And so I just took what I learned as a pop one, high school, college, just applied to
And one or two other questions that just came to mind as I was thinking.
keep shooting at me, man.
Well, you're the greatest. Mel, just here around the Motor City Mad Mouth, I'm joined by Mel Owens, former Michigan Wolverine and Los Angeles Ram. I'm Scott Morganroth, the Motor City Mad Mouth from the NFL Draft 2024. 2 hometown guys talking football, college, or whatever. Well, recently we saw the passing of O.J. Simpson, and his family was reluctant to give his brain for scientific research. Obviously it's a personal choice by the family, Mel, but do you think that he should have done it, or would it have made a
I
difference?
have no comment on that because
Okay.
I really don't care. It's very personal. We're talking about post-mortem,
Right.
and I don't venture into that.
Okay.
I just, I don't. If a person did, it will help science as far as football is concerned. I actually spoke with the neuro surgeon last week. I told him, I think 95% of the players have CTE. He goes, you're wrong. He goes, the brains that they've examined, only 70. Still high, only 70. So I go, oh, I thought it was more than 95. So if he did, okay. If he didn't, okay. Look, also, a friend of mine, Roman Gabriel, passed, quarterback for the Rams, right? Great player, admired, a friend of mine. Just another great Ram.
So tell me some of the favorite players you enjoyed playing with the LA Rams. I know
Eric Dickerson, Andy Eller, Jimmy Collins, Jackie Slater, Flipper Anderson, Reggie Dawes. A lot of great guys. Yeah, but Eric Dickerson is a favorite of mine because I played with him and I played against him. Greatest running back of all time.
Oh, there you go.
By far.
Well, then, where you rank Barry Sanders?
He's high. He's top 5. But, Emmett's there because, in my opinion, he was there a long time. Great line, a lot of yards. Good. Eric Dickerson, man.
Yeah,
so was Barry. But see, they didn't take care of Barry. The Lions didn't take care of him. They should put guys around him. Should have paid him.
Yeah.
I think that was right before free agency, I believe. Right now, Barry would be gone. He would have a statue. There'd be a statue somewhere else. He wouldn't be with the Lions. He'd be here 4 or 5 years and they'd go, they got to pay them.
Do you have any idea where you think the Lions, do you think they'll drop off this year, or do you think they'll be as good as they were last year?
I think they're going to be very, very competitive because of the coach. I think it's the coach. And he's still there, very, very conscientious guy.
So one of the reasons I know the Rams traded him is they felt that his salary they didn't feel he was good for what his salary commanded, and they wanted Stafford. Do you think Jared Goff deserves a long-term deal in Detroit?
If I was a GM, I don't pay anybody long-term.
Okay.
I just don't. Like the ACC went to the reservation of rights for 20 years. Who does that? My whole deal is whenever you think you're going to do the deal, whatever the number of years you want to go for, look back that many years. So I'm going to do a 20-year deal. I look back 20 years. What was invented 20 years ago to this point? There's going to be so many things that are going to be invented that you have no idea, no clue what's going to happen. You can't go up that far. I wouldn't give him more than, I think 4 is like a standard contract. How old is he? 28?
Yeah, I think it's like 20.
I'd give him, they all want 4-year deal, right? Maybe I give him 3. If he doesn't want it, then go find another team.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously the Lions, whether they pay quarterbacks 3, 4, 5 years, Stafford did.
Detroit's never done anything. It's the Ford family. They're just not into it, right? They're just not into it. They think they're into it. They're not into it. 49ers are into it. Rams are into it. Bears, they haven't won anything for a long time, but they're more into it.
Yeah, well, and my final question, as we look at the top quarterbacks in this draft, I know, to me, okay, a lot of great quarterbacks you'll find in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round on.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a 2-part question. How well do you think Caleb Williams is going to do? And he's going to the Bears, too.
I heard he's going to do off the chart or complete failure. Nowhere in between.
Really?
I think the guy they should have kept was Justin Fields.
Okay.
Went to Michigan, went to Ohio State. I think he's good enough to compete. Caleb Williams, I live in Southern California, and I see him all the time. He's good, but if you don't put the pieces around him, what are you going to do, right? And Jaden, what's that, Heisman Trophy winner?
Oh,
That guy, LSU, right?
McDaniels.
Davis, right? He's good. And then McCarthy, and I know I like Mix.
oh, do you? Okay, well, as we wrap it up, Mel, I want to thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to staying in touch. God bless. Okay, thank you.